The rain didn't just fall that night. It pressed against the glass like an uninvited guest, whispering reminders of everything I didn't want to feel. Each droplet slid down the windowpane, twisting the Seattle skyline into something warped and unrecognizable, like a reflection in broken glass. My apartment was silent, too silent, the kind of silence that weighs down your chest until even breathing feels like an effort. On the table in front of me sat a single chocolate cupcake. Its frosting was already hardening, the candle leaning slightly, unlit, a mockery of celebration. 30. The big 30. A milestone people posted about online, surrounded by friends' laughter, maybe even champagne toasts and speeches. And yet here I was, alone in my apartment, the clock ticking past 8 p.m., my phone still blank, no calls, no texts, not even a half-hearted emoji from family. I checked again, even though I already knew. Nothing. The reflection of my own tired face on the screen felt like the cruelest joke of all. I should have been used to it by now. But birthdays, no matter how many times you tell yourself they're just days, have a way of opening old wounds. I told myself not to, but my thumb betrayed me. Instagram, Camille's newest post filled the screen. There she was, radiant in her flowing gown, fingers hovering dramatically over piano keys. Her caption, "Last night's performance, grateful beyond words." Already dozens of comments showering her with adoration. And front and center, my mother's words, "Our brilliant star. Your father, and I couldn't be prouder." Dad's comment followed, "That's my girl." Mozart himself would be jealous. I bit my lip hard enough to taste iron. Always Camille, always the chosen one. I switched apps, pulling up my own camera roll. Images from the boutique hotel I'd redesigned. Warm lighting, clean lines, subtle luxury woven into historic walls. That project had earned me recognition in my field, and a bonus most people would envy. Yet here I sat, invisible, my accomplishments evaporating in the shadow of a piano recital. A tear hit the screen, blurring the photo of my proudest achievement. I wiped it away quickly, scolding myself. "You're 30. You should be over this." But I wasn't. Not when the memories came creeping back. The pink birthday dress, at 10 years old. Waiting while Mom rushed past me shouting that we couldn't be late for Camille's recital. Dad's distracted pat on the head. "We'll celebrate next weekend." A weekend that never came. That was the day I learned how to shrink myself. How to clap the loudest from the shadows while Camille basked in the spotlight. The cupcake mocked me from the table. What was I supposed to celebrate? Another year of being unseen. Another milestone ignored by the very people who should have been the first to call. Something inside me shifted. No. Not this year. Not again. I opened my laptop. My savings balance blinked back at me, 97,342, 6 figures almost. Years of careful budgeting, quiet victories no one had asked about. And that bonus, 68,000, burned in the account, proof that my work had value, even if my family couldn't see it. Before I could second guess myself, I tapped my phone. "Sadal Audi, this is Trevor. How may I help you?" My voice surprised me, steady, determined. "Do you have any Q5s available?" "Several," he said, chipper. "Were you looking to test drive?" I glanced at the sad little cupcake. "Actually, I'm looking to buy. Tonight." A pause. "Tonight?" "That's right." When I hung up, I caught my reflection in the rain-streaked window, my spine straight, my chin lifted, defiance glimmering in my eyes. For once, I didn't look like the girl who'd been forgotten. I looked like a woman daring to claim her own worth. The dealership gleamed under harsh, white spotlights. The midnight blue Q5 sat in the corner like it had been waiting for me. I didn't even need the test drive. I knew. "I'll take it," I told Trevor. Sending the papers felt surreal. My hand trembled, but not from fear, from exhilaration, from finally doing something not for them, not for applause, but for me. When the keys dropped into my palm, their weight felt heavier than metal. They felt like freedom. I drove home, unable to stop glancing back at the car parked on the street, bold and unapologetic beneath the lamplight. I should have gone inside. Instead, I grabbed my jacket and drove straight to Cary Park, where the Seattle skyline glitters like a promise. I angled the car perfectly, snapped a photo with the city glowing behind it. Caption, "Happy birthday to me. Dream car, dream life." My thumb hesitated, then pressed post. The likes poured in instantly. Friends, colleagues, strangers even, everyone cheering me on. "Wow, Emery, what a beauty. Happy birthday. You deserve this. Didn't know you were an Audi girl." For the first time that day, I smiled, but then my phone buzzed. "Mom, where did you get that kind of money?" she demanded, skipping past any greeting. Dad came on next, his voice carrying the same patronizing tone he'd used when I was 16 and 5 minutes late past curfew. Is this some kind of lease? Because this seems irresponsible. It's mine, I said evenly, paid mostly in cash. From my bonus. From my work. Silence. The sound of them recalculating their assumptions. And then Camille's text popped up. Wow. Didn't think you could afford something like that. Mom and Dad freaking out. Lol. Still not a single. Happy birthday. Dinner. Tomorrow night. Mom's command, not invitation. 6 o'clock sharp. Fine, I said. But I'll be driving myself. When I arrived, I carried a small cake with me. Chocolate simple, with a message written in buttercream. Happy birthday, Emery. From me to me. I set it down in the center of the table. Silence spread like smoke. Mom's lips parted, but no words came. Dad shifted uncomfortably. For 30 years, I said, my voice steady, my birthdays were forgotten, while Camille's were celebrated like royalty. That's not fair, Dad muttered. Isn't it? I looked straight at him. My 16th birthday. A grocery store cake while Camille had a catered party. My 20th, you left me to house, sit while you vacationed for Camille's graduation. And this year, not even a text. Camille's eyes widened. I never knew. No, you didn't. Because no one cared enough to notice. The room held its breath. The grandfather clock ticked, filling the silence. I gave myself the gift I deserved. I won't apologize for it. I won't apologize for valuing myself when no one else has. Dad tried to argue, tried to call it irresponsible, tried to lecture me on investments and retirement. But I cut him off. The hotel I just redesigned increased revenue by 35%. I earned a 68,000 bonus. I earned that car. I earned this life. I earned my own celebration. And I don't need your permission. Mom's tears fell. Dad looked down at his plate. Camille whispered, I'm sorry. I never realized. I gathered my purse. I'm not asking for apologies. I just needed you to finally hear me. I celebrate myself now. And I walked out, leaving the cake behind like a mirror to all the birthdays they'd forgotten. Driving home, the rain blurred the city lights, but inside I felt lighter. My chest unknotted, my hands steady on the wheel. For the first time, the rain sounded not like mourning but like applause. The story didn't end there. Change doesn't happen overnight. But that night, the night I chose myself, was the first crack in the dam. The first sign that maybe, just maybe, my family could learn to see me. Months later, Camille asked to meet. She cried in a coffee shop, admitting she'd been blind to the privilege of always being the chosen one. She framed my magazine review. She gave me a compass necklace, a symbol of finding my own direction. Mom started calling. Dad, in his gruff way, began trying. Birthdays were remembered, messages sent, dinners planned. It wasn't perfect. It would never erase 30 years. But it was something. And every time I slid behind the wheel of that Audi, I remembered the truth I'd learned on my 30th birthday. I had never needed them to validate me. Because my worth was never theirs to decide. It had always been mine.